Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to I Choose the Call. What if the greatest control over your life was never forced? What if it was comfort, routine, repetition, normality? What if the reason so many people never wake up is because they were trained not to question what shaped them? Most people think control looks obvious. They think of chains, pressure, fear, power. But real control is much quieter than that. It teaches you what to accept, what to ignore, what to laugh at, what to defend, what to call normal. And after a while, you no longer need to be forced because you have already adapted. That is how spiritual control works. It does not always remove truth completely. It only distorts it just enough to keep you from seeing clearly. Enough truth to keep you comfortable. Enough distortion to keep you blind. That is why so many people live surrounded by information, surrounded by religion, surrounded by culture, surrounded by opinions, and still do not feel free. They know words. They know trends. They know what everybody is saying. But deep down, many still feel lost, still confused, still restless, still empty. And that emptiness is telling a story. Because when the soul is starving, noise cannot feed it. Performance cannot heal it. Tradition alone cannot rescue it. And borrowed language cannot set it free. Have you ever noticed how people can be informed but spiritually asleep? Always hearing, never seeing, always talking, never transforming, always near truth, but somehow never entering it. That is not random. That is not small. That is not harmless. But the system does not need to destroy everything. It only needs to shape your appetite. What you hunger for, what you fear, what you admire, what you obey, what you chase, what you protect. But once your appetite is formed, your path is easier to predict. And if your desires are shaped for you, your life can be guided without you even realizing it. That is why so many people defend the very things that are emptying them. They call it freedom. They call it progress. They call it normal. They call it enlightenment. They call it personal truth. But not everything that feels normal is healthy. Not everything accepted by the crowd is safe. Not everything celebrated by culture is life-giving. And not everything spiritual is from God. Some things are ancient. Some things are organized. Some things are deep-rooted. Some things have been repeated for so long, people. But people stop questioning them. They stop testing them. They stop resisting them. And once that happens, control no longer has to announce itself. It can sit quietly inside culture, inside habits, inside language, inside tradition, inside education, inside entertainment, inside systems, inside religion. And people will still call it good. That is what makes it dangerous. Because the strongest deception is not the one that looks evil. It is the one that looks familiar. It is the one that feels safe. It is the one that blends it so well. You never think to challenge it. You never think to examine it. You never think to ask, where did this come from? You never think to ask, who benefits from it? You never think to ask what it has done to your conscience. And that is where the danger deepens. Because when a person stops questioning what formed them, they start living on autopilot. They repeat ideas they never examined. They defend positions they never tested. They inherit assumptions they never challenged. And little by little, their inner life becomes managed by forces they do not even recognize. That is not freedom. That is conditioning. That is programming. That is spiritual dullness, dressed up as normal life. This is why discernment matters. This is why awareness matters. This is why truth matters. I'm all about truth, people. Because if you never stop and ask, who taught me this? Who formed this in me? Who trained my desires? Who shaped the way I think? Who benefited from my silence? Who benefited from my distraction? Who benefited from my confusion? Then you may spend your whole life calling bondage by a different name. You may call it wisdom. You may call it success. You even may call it religion. You may call it peace. And that's why I'm here today. To warn you. To tell you. You may call it maturity. You may call it balance. But deep down, something still feels off. Something still feels empty. Something still feels unresolved. Something still feels unhealed. And that feeling is telling you to tell you something. It may be telling you that your soul knows when it is living beneath truth. It may be telling you that something false has been normalized. It may be telling you that what surrounds you has so slowly entered you. Maybe the system you trusted was never built to make you free. Maybe it was built to keep you managed, to keep you distracted, to keep you dependent, to keep you shaped, to keep you asleep, to keep you busy enough never to go deeper, to keep you entertained enough never to become dangerous to it. Because people who truly wake up start asking different questions. Excuse me. They ask different questions. They stop accepting everything at face value. They stop confusing popularity with truth. They stop confusing repetition with authority. They stop confusing comfort with peace. And once that begins, the system starts losing power, because awakening always threatens control. A person who can see clearly is harder to manipulate. A person who can discern truth is harder to deceive. A person who can stand in conviction is harder to shape. That is why so much effort is spent keeping people mentally crowded, emotionally tired, spiritually distracted, and inwardly divided. Because a divided person is easier to guide. A numb person is easier to manage. A distracted person is easy to control. So the real question is not, is there control? The real question is this: who shaped the way you think? Who trained your desires? Who taught you what normal is? Who told you what success looks like? Who taught you what to fear? Who taught you what to love? Who taught you what not to question? And if you never question that, you may never break free. Wake up. If this spoke to you, say with me, this is only the beginning. Thank you. And subscribe to I Choose to Call. And share this with someone who needs to wake up too. Click the like button below and follow me for my other videos. Press the notified button. As I always say, stay in prayer, stay in faith, and stay close to God. Ciao for now.
I choose the call. I choose the call.